to do exponential functions, and we're actually going to plug in for x and y. So we're going to add an extra step to what we've been doing. So exponential function formula, y equals, what comes after the y equals? A. Write this down at the top of your paper somewhere. Write this down. Y equals A. What comes next? Very good. Parentheses. 1. Very good. Plus or minus. Wow, very impressed. R. And the x goes up high. Okay? And what does the A stand for? What else? Starting value. So those two words are the same thing. So A is your y-intercept or your starting value. Okay, good. All right, we haven't talked about this yet. What does the x stand for? X is the time. X is the time. What are some things that time is measured in? How can you measure time in what? What are some different things? Minutes? Seconds? Hours? Okay. What else? Days? And years. Okay, you don't have to write all those down. How about writing down one of them at least? Oh, months, yep. So how about writing down one example? You don't have to write them all down, but write down one of them. Minutes, seconds, hours, days, months, years. Those are all examples of time. Okay? All right, anybody need more time to write? Okay, number 1, suppose that you have $200. You invest this money into an account earning 5% interest each year. How much will you have in 7 years? Okay, step 1 is to write your y equals. Okay, so step 1 is to write your y equals before we can answer the question. So let's do that. Monica, help me with a y equals for this problem. What would come first? What number? Then what comes next? Very good. Percent means I put parentheses. It also means I put what number next? 1. Very good. Is this one 1 plus or 1 minus? Plus. Anytime you see interest, guys, that's a plus. Anytime you see interest, that's a plus. All right? Keep going, Monica. What else? Very good. And then to the x power. To the x power. Not yet. I'm not getting there yet. That's our new step. I'm gonna do that in a separate step, okay? Okay, so anybody have a question about where we got this y equals from? That's what we've been practicing the past couple of days. All right, so step 2 is to use your calculator. All right, so step 2 is to use your calculator. Where can I put this in my calculator? The y equals. So let's do that now. All right, in your calculator, when you go to the y equals, you're going to type in 200, parentheses. You can put 1 plus 0.05, or you could put 1.05. The calculator doesn't care, all right? I'm going to go ahead and just put 1 plus 0.05. If you want to combine them, that's fine. Parentheses. What else would I need to put? Caret key and x. Good. Caret key and x. Okay. Dylan, you got this typed in? All right, so after I type that in, where do I always go after I type something in the y equals? Second graph. Andrew, turn around and show them where the x is. Okay. One other thing I want you to do on your paper, real quick, go back to your paper and do an x and a y chart. Again, what did we say x was? What's x? What? Just a word. What word? It's time, and you're right. Some of y'all are saying years. X is your time. What would y be in this problem? What's y measured in? Very good, Ethan. Money. Okay, so the question says, how much will you have in 7 years? 7 years. Is 7 years a time? So we're going to look for 7. Should 7 be on the x side or the y side? The x side, because it's time. So x, we're going to go down to 7. So in my calculator, I'm going to go down to 7. And how much money do I have after 7 years? Anybody? Okay. 281.42 is your answer. That's how much you will have in 7 years. Yes, I'm going to do it this way, Daniel, but you can do it that way too. Number 2, our pontoon boat decreases in value each year by 3%. The boat is valued at $3,450. How much will it be worth in 5 years? Chad, what do I want you to do first? Okay, so let me have Zaria help me with my y equals. What number comes first? The starting value comes first. What do I put after the starting value, Zaria? What comes next after the starting value? Parentheses and a 1. Is it going to be 1 plus or 1 minus, Zaria? Minus for decrease. And then 3% is 0.03 to the x. 3,450, 1 minus 0.03 to the x. All right, guys. If I put these two together, does it give me 1.03? No, because I am subtracting. So if you put those together, 0.97. So be careful, those of you who are trying to do stuff in your head. Pay attention, okay? All right, so now I'm going to go to my calculator. And in my y equals, I'm going to type in 3450, parentheses 1 minus 0.03 to the x. So I'm typing that in my y equals. Andrea, what's the question asked on this problem? Is 5 years a time, Andrea? So do I put 5 on the x side or the y side? Very good. So I'm going to go down to 5 on the x. So second graph, go down to 5. And so it'll be worth how much? Anybody? And let's do decimal places too. So 2,962 point what, guys? And this is money. Okay. Number 3, the function p of t equals 101.05x models the population of a city from 1992 to 2004, where t equals 0 represents the year 1992. If the growth rate remains the same, about how many people does the model predict will be lived in the city in 2010? Okay, what's different about number 3? They've already written a y equals. Good, Chuck. So everybody box that in. They've already written the y equals for you. They've already written the y equals for you. Did I call you Chuck? Yeah. Sorry. Good job, Chad. All right. So what am I going to do since they've already written it for me? Where am I going to go next? Y equals in the calculator. All right. So go to your y equals. Everybody do this with me. Jesse, you have the y equals? Yeah. Okay, thank you. 100 parentheses 1.05 to the x. Okay. All right, guys, here's where I need you to go back and read the question. What is the question asking? Somebody other than Chad answer. What's the question asking? Daniel? Okay. Now, I don't want you to go to 2010 in your calculator. I don't want you to do that. What year did it start in? 1992 is when it started. What can I do with these two numbers to figure out how many years have gone by? Subtract them. So 2010, you might have to go back to your main screen, some of you. 2010 minus 1992, what does that give you? 18. So when it gives you a year, you got to go back to the starting year and figure out how many years have passed. You can do that by subtracting them. 2010 minus 1992 gives you 18. So it's been 18 years. Okay? Now we're going to go to our calculator. So, Gracie, where am I going to go in my calculator after I've typed it in the y equals? And what am I looking for, Gracie? Very good. So I'm going to go down to 18. And you've got 240.66. Guys, look up here real quick. Do you see 240.66? All right, so 240.66. Is that an answer choice? No. What happens if you round 240.66 up? What do you get? 241, but 241 is not really an answer choice either. What is an answer choice? What? Why is it B? Why is it 241,000? There we go. Daniel read this. Look, everybody circle this on your paper. In thousands. Circle that. In parentheses, they put in thousands. That's where they got those extra zeros from. In thousands. Okay? All right. Number 4, since 1985, the average teacher salary in the U.S. has decreased 8.1% per year. In 1985, average teacher pay was an average of $2,660 per month. Find the approximate average salary in 2000. All right, Jesse, what do we need to do first? Very good. All right, Jesse, help me with the y equals. Good job. Very good, because it said decrease. Good, Jesse. Wow, very good, Jesse. To the x power. All right, let's see who's up next. Gracie, what is the question asking? Okay, so Gracie, 2000 is a year. What else do we need to do with 2000? Very good. You go back to the beginning year and you subtract them. Good job, Gracie. So 2000 minus 1985. Daniel, what does that give us? So 15 years. All right, so Andrew, what am I going to do with this and this? What am I doing next? Good. So 260 parentheses 1 minus point. Ted, you already done this one? 0.81 to the x. And this one I'm going to 15. Number 5. In 1988, there were approximately 430,000 people employed in the U.S. as computer support specialists, according to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. The number was expected to grow 7% annually. How many computer specialists will there be in 2007? Okay, so I'm going to work this one out. So y equals is my first step. 430,000 parentheses, because I see a percent, so I did a parentheses and I put a 1. And this one is growing, so that's a plus. And 7% is 0.07 to the x. Okay, so that's my y equals. How many people got this step right? All right, very good. Then I see it's 2007 is the year, and it started in 1998. So I'm going to subtract those. 2007 minus 1998, that gives me 9. And now I'm ready to use my calculator. Clear 430,000, parentheses 1.07 to the x, and I'm going to 9. Oh, and how many people got this right? 790,537? 790, 537. Okay, go back and look at your y equals. If you got it wrong, go look at your y equals. It should be 4, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros. Okay, so, let's see. All right, so somebody call it out. What was it? 790? 5 what? Okay. And what is that? 790,537 what? People. Very good. Okay. All right, number 6, the value of expensive products like automobiles depreciate from year to year. One common method for calculating the depreciation of automobile values assumes that a car loses 20% of its value every year. Suppose you purchase a new car for $20,000. Estimate the time when the car's value is only $1,000. Dylan, what do I do first? You write a y equals rule. So help me with that, Dylan. What comes first? 20,000. Uh-huh. Okay, so the imaginary decimal is here. And see how this has 2 circles? So you move it 2 times. So where does the decimal end up? 0.20 to the x. Okay? Okay. Guys, the question on this one. Hey, stop with your calculators for a minute. Look real quick. I only need 10 seconds. Estimate the time when the car's value is 1,000. Is 1,000 a time? So, am I looking for 1,000 on the x side or the y side? Where am I looking for 1,000? The y side. Very good. So, all right, you may use your calculators now. 20,000, 1 minus 0.20 to the x. What is 1 minus 0.20? Anybody do it in their head? This, what does this become? 0.80, good. Okay. And second graph, and estimate when the car's value is only 1,000. Okay. If you look, it's not exactly 1,000, but it's close. It's $1,000 at 13 what? 13 years. So, again, I probably should have started at 0, so let me show that. A couple people, this is new. It started at $20,000. Started at $20,000. And every year, it's depreciating. So it's getting less and less. So I'm going to look. You got to be careful. That's not $1,000. How much money is that one? 10,000. All right. So I'm looking for 1,000. Looking for 1,000. Keep going. And the closest to 1,000 is right here. 13 years. 13 years. Okay. Questions? All right, number 7, a new automobile is purchased for $20,000. If V equals 20,000, 0.8 to the X gives the car's value after X years. About how long will it take for the car to be worth half its purchase price? Haley, tell me something about this problem. Very good. They already give you the y equals. I want everybody to box that in on their paper. Box in the y equals. They've already written it for you. All right, Jesse, what's the question asking on this one? That's not what the question part is. What's it asking you? Good. I want everybody, Ethan, H, pick up your pencil for a minute. I want you to underline half purchase price. Underline that, everybody. Half its purchase price. That's half of what it started at. So Dylan, Jesse, put your calculators down for a minute. I want you to write something on this problem. Then you can use your calculators. How much was the starting value of this one? 20,000. What is half of 20,000? 10,000. How else could you get half if you couldn't do that in your head? You could divide it by what? 2. All right, so 10,000, I want everybody to write this on their paper and put a star with it. 10,000 is what we're looking for in the calculator. Dylan, do you have all that written on your paper? Put your calculator down until it's all written. 10,000 is what we're looking for in the calculator. That's half its purchase price. This is the magic number in the calculator, okay? Andrea, am I going to 10,000 on the X or am I looking for it in the Y? Very good. I'm looking for 10,000 in the Y. Okay, good. All right, Zaria, what am I going to type in my Y equals? You may use your calculators now, people. Go ahead, Zaria. What am I typing in the Y equals? Uh-huh. 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 To the X. Okay. And always go back to 0. Always go back to 0. Jesse, I don't think you were here when I taught this. You can go to second window and tell it where to start at. So you could type in 0 if you wanted to. And there. Okay. Ethan H., what is the answer on this one? When do we see 10,000? At 3 years. Very good. 10,000 is at 3 years. So that is answer B. Answer B. Okay. All right, number 8, you invest 1,000 to an account that earns 3.5% interest each year. About how long will it take for your money to be worth triple its original amount? Dylan, what do I need to do first? What will it be? Always got to put a 1. And then you have to decide if it's plus or minus. Plus. And how many times do I move this? So it becomes what? Very good. Okay, to the X. Monica, what is the question asking? Triple the original amount. So Monica, what was the original amount? Monica, how do I triple 1,000? Very good. So guys, you got to take the original amount, that's 1,000, times it by 3. What's 1,000 times 3? 3,000. So 3,000 is the magic number I'm looking for in the calculator. 3,000 is the magic number I'm looking for. Okay. All right, so Gracie, what do I do next? Yep, put it in my calculator. Put it over here. So I'm going to type in 1,000, parentheses 1 plus 0.035 to the X. And I'm looking for 3,000. Guys, y'all know I don't like it when y'all say the answer out loud. All right, so $3,000, it took a while. It took 32 years. 32 years. Okay. All right, anybody have a question on that one? All right. On your own,